Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. Welcome traders and investors. How y'all guys doing today? You guys probably feeling better about Bitcoin being at $92,400 than when it was at $86,000 or even $80,000 a few weeks ago, right? We're gonna take a look at the charts here on Bitcoin. We're gonna try to figure out whether we should be longing or shorting for the day traders. We're gonna do it pretty much all as best as we can here. And getting ideas like, you know, is Bitcoin actually going to go to 100K like some people are expecting here? I'd like to know your thoughts. If you guys think Bitcoin's going to 100, if you guys are in the stream right now and you think Bitcoin's going to 100, type in 100. If you think it's going back down to $80,000 again, I mean, you can put 80 in the comments or the live chat right now, or maybe even another number here if you think Bitcoin's going to a different number by the end of this month. Okay, I should probably put a stipulation there. By the end of this month, where do you guys think Bitcoin's gonna end up going here? Are we gonna actually go to 100K? Are we gonna go back to 80K or lower than that? That's what I would like to know. That's why I'm here on the charts here trying to figure out with you guys where Bitcoin might go next. Right now, Bitcoin's at a $92,430. We had a nice healthy bounce and a reversal off the 84K area, making a higher low here. I'm just looking at the daily time frame here on Bitcoin. We'll get into the smaller time frames to figure out, you know, what it might do next here. But this was a nice healthy bounce and you know, basically a reversal. We got that reversal here over the weekend where, you know, Monday was a really bad day for Bitcoin, but then Tuesday was like what, turnaround Tuesday. And we got above this 21 EMA, this white line here, which I think is very important. Okay, this white line could have acted as resistance, but it didn't. Okay, now, you know, we have to climb our way back up to higher prices here, where, you know, some people are saying, you know, we could see Bitcoin get up to like 96K or 102K. And those are lines that I marked off on the chart here on the right side. Okay. But the other moving averages that could provide resistance in the future, if we do climb up to 100K, is going to probably be this 50-day moving average, which will probably act as resistance. Right now, it's currently sitting at $107,000. If we were to climb up there, like today or tomorrow or later on this week, I would expect us to get rejected off that green line. Okay, initially, before we can actually try to pierce through it and punch through it to higher prices here. But overall, my sentiment is still bearish on Bitcoin until we get above that red line right there, which is your 200-day moving average. It's currently sitting at 109,526. It's this red number right here, for those who are wondering. 109,526 is what I'm looking for Bitcoin in order for me to be back to being bullish and saying, hell yeah, we're going to see $200,000 Bitcoin. I can't really say that until we actually get at least above 100, right? And then also get up to that 109K area, okay? Because I'm also expecting a rejection off of the 200-day moving average if we get up to that point as well, initially, before we can pierce through and try to punch up to higher prices here. Now, I know there's a little bit of argument and debate amongst a lot of Bitcoin investors and traders, including myself, as to whether or not we started the bear market here. Okay, and I'll tell you what, I mean, if, you know, with Bitcoin dropping from 126K down to $92,000, we've done a 30% drop. Okay, in the traditional markets, anything more than 20% is considered a bear market, at least in stock market world. So we already hit that definition of a bear market. And then also being below the 200-day moving average does not help either. Okay, it's just showing that over the past 200 days, we can't even stay above the average of the last 200 candles here on the daily time frame. So that's pretty bearish in my view. Okay, so I believe this, you know, us making lower highs, and of course making lower lows, I believe that is the start of a bear market. Okay. What Bitcoin needs to do to prove the bears wrong and to prove me wrong, because I am bearish, okay, on Bitcoin for the long term here. Okay, you have to make a higher high, which has not happened since what, We had a high here in September, and then we made a higher high in October. Since then, you've been making lower high in October, another lower high here in November, and could this possibly be another lower high? Okay, you have to continue what you're doing here, making higher lows and higher highs in the short to medium term, but you have to get above this previous high here on November 11th at 107,482. Okay, you get above that, and now you're totally, I mean, you did a nice reversal if that's the case, right? And you're invalidating this whole lower high, lower low downtrend right here. Okay, so Bitcoin still is in suspect territory where we could still be in a bear market here if we're not able to make a higher high than what we did here on November 11th. So we really need to get to like $107,000 to like $109,000 for me to be like, okay, this was just one bad dream, one nightmare. This was just a correction. Okay, maybe a swap of the OG Bitcoin holders now selling off to like some of the new investors out there, including like the Bitcoin ETF and the institutional investors. Maybe this is just a swap of hands where they sell their Bitcoin, but the new guys come in and buy it back up again. Okay, I need to see that. I need to see Bitcoin get up to like 107, 109K for me to be bullish again, and we could just call this a correction. Okay, if that's what you guys want to call it. That's how I'm calling it. That's how I'm seeing it. Okay, but I do like the fact here on the daily time frame that we got above the 21 EMA. Now we have to stay above it, right? We can't just go back below it, because if we go back below it, then this 21 EMA is acting, this white line here is acting as resistance, and it's a rejection tool for those who are trying to figure out, whether or not we should be bullish or bearish. I could be a little bit more bullish because we're above this white line, but if we get rejected and we go below this white 21 EMA on the daily time frame here, I have to be back to being bearish again. Okay, I have to use this as guidance as to like, all right, now I have to short because we're probably gonna go down and maybe make another lower low and maybe another lower high, and then who knows where we go from there. Okay, but yeah, right now, if you're somewhat interested in shorting Bitcoin, I wouldn't fault you. I actually am shorting Bitcoin right now at 92,400. I have to get into the smaller time frames to show you guys why I am considering shorting Bitcoin here. But I just want to do a big picture view there so you guys can understand what's going on with Bitcoin. There's a battle going on between the longs and the shorts, the bulls and the bears here. Let me just catch up on the chat, see if you guys had anything to say here in the chat, and then I'll do a deep dive into the smaller time frames here on Bitcoin before I look at some of your requests that you guys might have. So right now, Christian over here is asking me, am I long in too? So I sold some Solana that I bought actually this on Monday. Okay, I wasn't expecting a really violent bounce back like that, but we got it. And there was an area that I was looking at, $143 Solana, that got hit earlier this morning. So I made like a 15% profit on that. I still have some Solana spot bags that I might sell if Solana goes up to like 160 or 170 bucks in the future. So I would like to see that happen, hopefully, if we do get this little bounce on Bitcoin and crypto here. So I'm not completely out of crypto, but I am looking to sell at higher prices, yeah. Just like everybody else, right? As far as long in, I actually did buy some Bitcoin over the last couple of weeks. I bought Bitcoin at 86K. So I am, yeah, I guess you could say I am long. And those are also some, I know I should have Bitcoin for the long term here, but, Bitcoin, is in suspect territory and possibly entering a bear market, in my opinion. So I am hoping to sell that Bitcoin, hopefully at like 96K, I think could be the next resistance level for Bitcoin. And then also I'm trying to sell more, maybe at 102K. And then we'll just have to see, we'll have to see if you guys are able to, if everybody around the world is able to push Bitcoin to higher prices past 102K, then maybe I buy back in again at 102K to see if we can get Bitcoin to go up to like 120 or 130 in the future here. But yeah, that's how I'm playing things. That's how I'm positioned right now. Let's see what else here. Tyler says he's saying 80K for Bitcoin, and he's got his fingers crossed here. Guys, I'm doing a TikTok live stream and a YouTube live stream at the same time, so I'm just reading through the chat here on TikTok, and I'm going to try to catch up with my YouTube guys here soon. Thank you, Chasing Spike, for following me here on TikTok. And G says 106K Bitcoin is going to be happening soon. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Okay. I would rather make money long in Bitcoin, and also I have some spot bags that I would like to sell at higher prices if Bitcoin gets up to 106K. We see Hulk Smash is in the chat. He's saying, "What up, Damien? Good to see you, Hulk Smash." He says 180K by the end of the month. Got to get through 96K. Wow, that's a pretty bullish target there, Hulk Smash. Did you mean to write 180K or did you mean to write 100K? Because that's almost like a double in price from where we are right now. We need some really bullish catalysts and a lot of money going into crypto if that's going to be the case. Hulk Smash says that 20% for an extended period of time, usually 2 months, bearish for sure, but you said what? Bearish for sure, not bear market for you. Bear market is a year of doom and depression. Hulk Smash really is bullish on Bitcoin, and he thinks Bitcoin is going to 180K by the end of this month. Well, if it does that, it's going to make a lot of people rich, I'll tell you that. And I might have to go back in and buy some more crypto if that's the case. Let me know, Hulk Smash, what are you looking at on the charts to make you think that we could see $180,000 Bitcoin by the end of this month? That's a pretty aggressive and bullish target here. But I wouldn't put it past, Bitcoin to do something like that. Just completely surprise us. I want to know what you think could be the bullish catalyst to propel us to 180K. Let's get into some of the smaller time frames here. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. And you know what? Let me get into a different chart. I want to leave those red lines there, but I'm going to use a different chart here for Bitcoin. We'll use the Binance chart. All right, so here we are on the 1 hour time frame here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently trading at $92,277. Let's see how healthy that is. Right now, we do have some selling pressure showing up here on the MACD. Okay, and the selling pressure is increasing. Looks like we had the MACD flip around 2 o'clock in the morning. And since then, Bitcoin's been having a rough morning compared to what it had last night. All right, I guess Bitcoin was partying last night, and now it's having a rough morning. On the 1 hour time frame, you do have the blue line crossing below the orange line here, showing that you have potential selling pressure increasing here on Bitcoin. So the 1 hour time frame is like my long-term tool and guidance that I use when I'm day trading. It gives me ideas like what the overall trend is going to be. And right now, the overall trend is we're probably going to go down to lower prices here. If this selling pressure continues, okay? I would need to see pink candles start showing up here to show me that the selling pressure is dying off. Kind of like back here, here on Sunday, you had selling pressure increasing on Sunday night, and then it died off, okay? And going into Monday here, okay? So this is what is worrying me here on the 1 hour time frame on the MACD. Also here on Market Cipher B. You had obviously a lot of money flowing into Bitcoin over the last couple of days here, okay, with the money flow in the green, but now money flow is going into red. So this is a little bit concerning here. Now, there might be some profit taking going on amongst some of the Bitcoin and crypto holders out there. They might be taking profit at $93,000 here, okay. Momentum wave is also coming down. The blue wave is coming down here. So right now we're kind of fighting up against some resistance, and the resistance is around like 93K, especially if we continue higher. If we go up to like 96K, we're gonna probably see even more resistance. But you see that the profit take is starting to come in here on the 1 hour time frame here. Okay, you had a red sell dot that came in. Was it? Yeah, today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, you had a red sell dot that came in at 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time here. And you don't have any green buy dots yet, okay? So we might continue going down, and it might get a little bit worse later on this afternoon if the selling pressure continues on here, okay? And then, of course, you know, for those who've been paying attention here, we have been seeing lower highs here on the RSI, okay? After we kind of did like almost like a blow-off top rally yesterday. But as the price was rising, we've been showing bearish divergence here on Bitcoin, okay? Where, let me just see if I can clean things up here a little bit so you can kind of spot this on the chart. But let me go ahead and move this up to the top here. But here's what we got going on here in the 1 hour time frame. You have lower highs here on the RSI. However, you've been making higher highs on price. That is bearish divergence here. And with bearish divergence, I mean, you could probably still maybe put up one last hoorah and have the price go up to higher prices. That's highly unlikely. It could still happen though. What is more likely to happen is for us to go sideways, which we have been doing since last night. What's even more likely is for us to actually come down in the lower prices here, okay? So this bearish divergence is starting to show up here on the 1 hour time frame. That's why I am looking for shorts, not longs right now on the day trades, okay? But I mean, depending on how you're scalping it, I mean, you could, you know, I'm looking at right now, like, you could do a scalp long and try to see if you could push this up to like 93K or 94K maybe. Okay, did we actually get up to 94K? Oh, I think we did last night, yeah. Or at least here on Binance, we got up to like 93,994. So I mean, you could try to play the ranges here, where you're buying low and selling high. If we continue just going sideways and staying range bound, you could do something like that. For the long-term shorts here, you know, you're just waiting for a breakout below, or at least below 91,800 or 91,700. It seems like there are some buyers that are showing up at this area for the for those who are day trading right now. So if you're day trading this, I would probably try to buy at 91,008 or 91,009. And if you're short selling it, like I got into a short trade just in case this thing was going to break down to the low side, but I want to get probably filled for another short at like 93K or like 93,500 would be a better short for me, okay? If I wanted to day trade this for a short. All right, let's get into the 15-minute time frame, see what's going on here. The 15-minute time frame is just kind of like zooming in with a microscope here. And you can see, you know, obviously the bearish divergence where you're making lower highs on RSI, while still making higher highs on the price here. Let's see what the MACD is showing. You have had selling pressure showing up here, and every time it dies off, it ends up increasing again. Right now, we're getting selling pressure dying off one more time here, but it could start increasing one more time. And if it does that, that's going to be a kick in the teeth to the bulls here, because you got to get some buying pressure showing up here on the MACD in order for you to continue to be bullish here on Bitcoin and see your longs play out to the upside. Looking at market cipher B on the 15-minute time frame, we do have a green buy dot that recently just showed up, so maybe they might try to push it up to higher prices here. But that would just probably give me a better entry on a short, to be honest with you, because I don't think, with money flow still in the red here on the 15-minute time frame, you need to see money flow in the green in order for us to get another rally to higher prices here, like you did, going into like last night, right? You had money flow in the green. However, you were kind of getting overbought in the overbought territory. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying that word, but yeah, you need to see money flow in the green in order for you to push up to higher prices here. And right now, it's still in the red. So even though you got a green buy dot, it's just weak sauce at this point. All right, let's get back at the chat, see what you guys are saying here. I see DZ's in the chat, and he's got a couple of requests, or he has one request here. And then I see Jay's in the chat here asking about Poet. All right, and then let's see what we have here on TikTok, see what you guys are saying. Dennis Bernard says, nice doji candle. Okay. What time frame were we looking at for that doji candle? I can't really remember. A says take profits at going to be 96K for him or her. I'm not sure if it's a guy or a girl. Harvey Ellis says 92K is key support. Yeah, as of now. Hopefully it holds, right? And then we have JL asking me to look at XRP. Alright, so let me go ahead and write things down here. So I saw Poet came in first. We'll take a look at Poet. And then we'll take a look at XRP. And we'll then take a look at SQD. Or DZ over here. And let me see, did I miss any other requests here? I think that's it for now. Alright, so I got some coins to look at as of now. Let's get at it. We'll take a look at first. Actually, we're gonna take a look at Poet. Poet is a stock in the stock market, so appreciate the request. Something different here. Let's get into the daily time frame here for Poet. Poet is up 16% today, so you know these stocks they can move just as good as cryptocurrencies can. Poet's trading at $5.45. We have looked at this before because I know Jay has requested this this asset in the past. Let me get the moving averages going on here. Right, so you were making a higher low compared to what you did here in June. That was nice to see on Poet. Actually, I don't know. Like, see, we kind of if you neglect this this wick here to the downside, I mean that's still, I believe, a higher low compared to what you're doing back here in June. So that's good to see on Poet. If anything, it did play out to the upside, where you know you got as low as like 387 here on Friday. However, now you're trading at 545. You're above the 200-day moving average, so I can say I can be bullish again on Poet because you did that. You know, I would like to see some of these other cryptocurrencies do that as well and get above the 200-day moving average. But Poet over here is doing what it needs to do to continue being bullish, I guess. Kind of get a little bit of rejection here off the 100-day moving average. That could probably be this is a problem area, this blue line. And if you were to continue to be bullish here, you probably might have some more resistance at that 50-day moving average sitting at 586 here on Poet. Let's take a look at the oscillators here to see how healthy of a move this is. Looking at the MACD here, you can see that selling pressure has died off, and you got that green buying candles here. You got the green candles for buying pressure. That is starting to show up here on the daily time frame here. So that is good to see. I like to see that as a momentum trader, which I do a lot of momentum trading. I like seeing that the momentum is now going to the upside with selling pressure dying off and buying pressure starting to show up here on the chart. So that's good to see. That means you could continue to higher prices here. Okay, if you start seeing light green candles like you saw back here in October 10th and October 13th, then you know that could be a hint that the rally here in prices is probably going to be coming to an end here. So you don't have that happening yet, so you could continue being bullish as far as I'm seeing here on the MACD. And then as far as like market cipher B goes, here on Poet, you got a green buy dot that showed up here on November 19th. You had the momentum wave climbing back up to higher, you know, to help push prices up to higher prices. You had money flow curving back up, and now money flow is in the green. So you might see a few more good days ahead of you here with Poet, to be honest with you. The only thing that would, you know, probably end the rally is if you see a red sell dot come in. If you see a red sell dot come in, which you haven't had since October 27th, then that probably means that you're probably done going up in price, and you might, you know, do a bullish consolidation, or you might start going back down to low prices again. Okay, but I think you're good for now here on Poet, and I already gave you the upside targets. I think moving averages above you should be your upside targets. I'm not going to really get into Fibonacci because I feel like I did a lot of analysis on this coin already. But I could always do a Fibonacci later on just to see what the fib levels are. But I think you can just use the moving averages for now as your take profit targets for Poet. And we'll just take it, you know, one day at a time here for Poet. We'll have to look at this again one more time. But I think this one's looking good so far. It's already done some good work over the last couple of weeks. And I think you might see maybe another good week or two ahead of you as well for Poet. All right, let's move on to XRP. And guys, if you have requests, go ahead and put them in, because this is going to be a shorter live stream that I did yesterday. Because I do have some things I need to do later on this afternoon. So it's not going to be a 2-hour live stream. It's probably be like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, if you guys keep me busy here. Excuse me. All right, so looking at XRP, currently trading at $2.17. What is XRP doing here? You're still in a downtrend, making lower highs. Of course, you have made lower lows as well. For XRP, this 21 EMA, this is the white line right here, okay? The 21 exponential moving average usually is a problem area for XRP. It's been a problem area ever since, ever since you started losing it here in October, all right? Beginning of October. XRP is also below the 20-day moving average, which is also a problem, okay? You came back, you kind of back tested it once, then you back tested it twice, and then that was game over after that. So being below the 200-day moving average on XRP, I have to be bearish on this asset until you get above that red line, okay? But right now, the white line is going to be your problem child here, okay? Because look at this. Every time you get above the white line, it doesn't happen for too long before you get sent back down again. Try to get back above that white line one more time here, and you get sent back down. So and then here, you kind of getting rejected every time you come up to this white line. It's acting as resistance. This is the 21 exponential moving average. You should probably add that to your charts. As part of the moving averages that you need to look out for any asset, in my opinion here. Okay. So I want to see XRP get above the 21 moving average. Right now, that's sitting at $2.15. You're at 217, so yeah, you're kind of doing it, but barely. I want to see a few more green candles pushing us up above this white line here for us to continue to be bullish here on XRP. And then I want to see XRP actually get above this last lower high here. It looks like the last lower high around November 10th was at $2.58. I think you do that, and you can start making a more bullish case here for XRP, okay? But right now, just like Bitcoin, XRP is in suspect territory. And we just don't know if XRP is going to get rejected and make a lower high. And if it does, then we have to figure out, how much lower can XRP go. I'm going to start to zoom out and use my VRVP indicator here to figure out what the levels might be for XRP to the downside. If XRP does go to the downside, we'll see where there might be some support. Okay. Right now, I pull up the VRVP indicator here. This is this green and red indicator to the right. The green is all the buys, the red is all the sells at the price levels that people were buying and selling at. You got a little bit of a high volume node here at $1.98. Okay, this white line is your value area low. Okay, this value area low would be where I would expect XRP to do a bounce, because if it loses $1.98, then it could get ugly for XRP, and we could see XRP drop down pretty fast, and you probably won't have any support until you get to like $1.50, okay? Because there's not that much volume here, but you got a little bit of a volume node here on the VRVP indicator here, okay? Where like $1.50 could be where XRP might settle at if it loses $1.98, okay? So don't lose $1.98, okay, for XRP. And then let's see. If XRP is able to climb up to higher prices, you can see like right now is kind of like where we have a lot of resistance. If XRP can push past $2.20, then the volume starts to drop off here. There's a little bit of volume at 230 and a little bit of volume here at oh, what happened to my chart here? I want to make sure. Am I still good here on YouTube? All right, yeah, okay. And there's a little bit of volume here at 241. So, as XRP climbs up, it might bump its head up against 230 and 240, and that might be a little bit of a problem. But once you get past 240, then the volume starts dropping off, and there's really not that much volume or resistance until you get up to this value area high sitting at 285. that might be where XRP actually like kind of hangs out and settles at. It might not actually get to $3. It might be a bit tougher to get past to get to $3 until it gets past 280.85 here, where that value area high is sitting at. So those are your upside downside targets there for XRP. Don't lose $1.98 to the downside, please. And 230, 240 might be a problem for XRP. And if XRP is able to get past 240, then 280 might be where XRP kind of hangs out at before it tries to reach $3. Apple user asking me what website I am on. I am using TradingView to look at these assets. It's a really good website, www.tradingview.com. I do have a link in my TikTok. I can see that you're on TikTok here, but if you want to get a discount off of their trading, their subscription plans, I do have a $15 discount code that you can use to save some money on TradingView if you want to get their subscription plan. I think you can do TradingView with some indicators, and you only get like maybe like 2 or 3 indicators before they ask you to start paying for a subscription plan. Okay. But yeah, that's this is my TikTok page. Thank you guys. I got a good amount of followers from the last live stream that I did yesterday. I got like over 38 followers, so that is helping me get close to like 5,700 here. Let me click the refresh. I think I might have hit 5,700. Let's see. Yeah, I did. I got a few more followers here. 5,702 followers here on TikTok. So I appreciate that, guys, for hitting the follow button. And if you want to learn more about the VRVP indicator, I do have that video pinned to the top here that goes into the VRVP indicator. If you want to learn more about that, it's like a 14-minute tutorial video on the VRVP indicator. All right, let's get back into the chats. I see Lorraine's in the chat. Thank you, Lorraine, for sharing the live and hitting that like button. Appreciate that. And I also see Cameron's in the chat. Good to see you, Cameron. Cameron says, "Good evening, traders." Oh, must be nighttime for Cameron. It's 12:27 here in Massachusetts and the East Coast here. That's where I'm at. But yeah, you know, good evening to my European followers and viewers here. I got people from all around the world watching this live stream. That's pretty awesome to say. Okay. So yeah, that's XRP. We gotta now move on to SQD. And if you guys have any requests, go ahead and put them in. I see a few of my regulars are here, my regular viewers. And this is going to be a shorter live stream than yesterday, because I have some things I need to do this afternoon. So if I don't get requests, this is going to be an even shorter live stream than yesterday, for sure. DZ's putting another request in. He wants to look at Sapien. Okay. Well, we're looking at SQD for you, DZ. I'll go ahead and write that one down. Thank you. Lorraine wants to look at Tesla. Okay. Interesting. So we got some stocks to look at. And Solana. Alright. We'll look at maybe Solana after Tesla. How about that? I kind of want to take a look at Tesla. See how it's doing. Oh, D2 Miami wants to look at VET. Okay. I think that's VeChain, right? And Apple users asking me, what are my thoughts on a United States crypto reserve? I thought they were gonna be working on that earlier this year. I think there's a senator from Wyoming. Her name is like Cynthia Loomis, I believe. She's a big proponent of it. I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to do the stablecoin bill, which they did in July, and then they're doing like a crypto market structure bill. And I think once those bills are passed, then that gives them a little bit more steam and momentum to try and do a crypto reserve. So the crypto reserve for the United States might not happen until next year. Take some time. But I think they need to start working on that for next year before the midterm elections happen in the United States, because if the Democrats start showing up, it might be a little bit harder for them to to push a bill to start up a crypto strategic reserve, because the Democrats have been kind of, you know, anti-crypto, except for maybe a few of them. I know there's a Democratic congressman in California. I forgot his name. It's like he's like an Indian-looking dude. I forgot how to pronounce his name, but there is a Democratic congressman, House of Representative guy who actually is pro-crypto. So if we can get more Democrats to be on board with crypto, then maybe there might be a strategic reserve, a crypto strategic reserve in the United States. That would definitely help if we can get more Democrats to get on board with the Republicans on that. All right. Anyways, going back to the charts here, we're looking at SQD currently trading at 5.5 cents. Let me just turn the music down. I feel like it's a little bit loud on my end. We have looked at SQD a bunch of times because DZ keeps requesting it, right? Let me get rid of the VRVP. I can always turn it up later. But SQD, I mean, it has respected the TA, right? You got the moving averages above you, this 50-day moving average, this green line, and then this 100-day moving average, this blue line. SQD actually shot up, caught some bids out of nowhere towards the end of November, came right up to that 100-day moving average, and then rejected. A lot of people were definitely willing to offload and sell their SQD at 12 cents here. If you kind of see that happening again in the future, all right, if you're lucky enough to see that happen in the future here, I would expect resistance at the that green line at 10 cents. And if the 10 cents doesn't hold, then I would definitely expect some resistance at basically 12 cents here without 100-day moving averages on SQD. All right, so I'm not gonna give you financial advice, DZ, but I hope you are offloading and selling your SQD when it does, you know, basically double in price. Because right now, if we go from 5.5 cents to like 11 or 12 cents, you're gonna double your position there, and that's like a really good. I mean, can you blame other people who were in SQD that saw the price double and they actually hit the sell button there? I don't blame them, okay? So if you do see something like that in the future where we spike up like that, I would strongly consider hitting the sell button and selling something, right? You don't have to sell all of it, but definitely consider hitting that sell button, just like some other people did here. But the thing that I don't like about SQD is that you're still in a downtrend, right? It's been like, you know, lower highs, lower lows with these crazy spikes to the upside. So it's kind of like almost hard to short it because you just never know when this thing's going to just out of nowhere get a short squeeze on you. But it looks like, you know, SQD is just trending downward. Like, you're not making higher lows, higher highs, okay? You got to start making higher lows here, okay? The last low was November 22nd at like 4.5 cents. Don't go lower than that. If you come down and just make a higher low, then we could say that there might be a possible trend reversal here where we're not in a downtrend, where we might be starting an uptrend. But first, you got to start doing higher lows, okay? Because this whole lower low and then crazy spikes to the upside, it's garbage price action in my opinion. I think you could still short sell this, but just keep your stop loss tight because you never know when a short squeeze is going to come in, okay? But I think until we can start making the higher lows, you need to be bearish and you need to be thinking about shorting this rather than longing it, because like the trend is in your favor to be a short seller. And if you're wondering how far down you could take this, you could probably take it down to that 1272, saying about 0.0068 pennies. Yikes. Okay, and that's just using some previous Fibonacci analysis that I've done on this asset. Okay. All right, so that's SQD. We'll move on and take a look at Tesla, and then we'll look at Sapien and Vet and then Solana. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at Tesla. And we're looking at Tesla currently trading at $441, up 2.9% today. Okay, let's see. I got some previous analysis here. I got the Fibonacci that I drew. I drew the Fibonacci from 470, which I think was like the high here in October. Yeah, down to I drew it all the way down to the 298 level here, which is where Tesla was at back here in July. Or was it? Yeah, it might have been this low here. Yeah, about August 1st here. Okay, so drew the fib levels. I'm probably gonna keep the Fibonacci analysis here because it looks like we already had a retracement down here on Tesla to the golden pocket. We actually came a little bit further than that. We came to the 0.5 golden pocket. I'm sorry, the 0.5 retracement level here at 384. And it looks like Tesla did a double bottom here, right? At you got 382 here, and then 383. That was a double bottom, showing that Tesla was trying to do a reversal here. A double bottom is a reversal pattern, meaning that the price was coming down, but now you double bottom, and now you're coming back up to higher prices here. And we already came up to the 786 retracement at 433. So for those who are short-term trading this, that was your opportunity to take profit at that level. It looks like Tesla might be trying to make its way back up to 470 all over again here. I'm not sure what's going to cause Tesla to go up to those higher prices here. Maybe if they lower interest rates, then that would be good for their car sales, because we know a lot of people take out car loans to go buy their Teslas here. Okay, so a lower interest rate environment would probably propel Tesla to higher prices here, in my opinion, just based off of that alone. Okay, I think they're trying to release a robo-taxi, right? And they're doing some other things with like robots in general. So maybe that might create some enthusiasm for higher prices for Tesla. But let's see, is Tesla actually going to come back down, right? Because you would think if it was going to get a rejection, it was going to get a rejection in the 786 retracement. It could still come back down to the golden pocket here. Let's see if I can make a case for that. Actually, no. On the MACD, obviously selling pressure has died down and momentum is to the upside, and you're getting a buying pressure candle showing up here for Tesla. Maybe Tesla does want to go to higher prices here. And then let's see, on the RSI, obviously you're making lower highs here, but now you're starting to make higher lows here, and you're challenging what you did here back here in October. So RSI is in neutral territory, and I think Tesla has room to go to the upside if it wants to, and still not be overbought. And then looking at market cipher B here, I mean, it says you bottom out here on Tesla around November 24th. You got that green buy dot. You got money flow that was in the red is now starting to go into the green here. And yeah, if it continues to go in the green, you might see some more upside price action here on Tesla. So that's just looking at the daily time frame here. I think Tesla wants to go up, not down. And if it does go up, I think we're going to try to revisit 470. And ask me about Tesla when it does get up to 470 again, and then we can see if it's going to probably get rejected, or maybe if it's going to actually pierce through and probably come up to this 1272 at 517 is a upside target for Tesla if it does get past 470 here. I see Lauren A is in the chat here on YouTube. Good to see you, Lauren A. And yes, you have made it. All right, moving on from Tesla, we'll take a look at VeChain and then Solana and Sapien. All right, VeChain doing things, right? All right, VeChain currently up 7.9% today. Currently trading at 0.0138 pennies. And VeChain on the daily time frame here I mean, you've been having a bad 2025. Last year, towards the end of last year, was your best time to be in VeChain, right? Or at least, you know, try the best time to sell, right? Since then, it's been a pretty dismal year for VeChain. I think you're well aware of that. You can look at the charts, but I just have to give you some history here. And VeChain's been below the 200-day moving average, this red line here, for the majority of 2025. That has been acting as resistance. But more recently, the selling pressure has gotten a lot worse here after Bitcoin topped out at 126K. This to me blows my mind. Bitcoin was at 126K, near an all-time high, and VeChain was barely just trying to get above its 200-day moving average. And then, of course, obviously, when Bitcoin dropped, you know, this thing basically got murdered. Okay, I don't know if I should say that. I don't know if I get in trouble for saying something like that. But this thing got wrecked. Okay, this thing got basically destroyed. Okay, to the downside, especially around October 10th during that liquidity event. And since then, now the white line, this 21 exponential moving average, has been acting as resistance. Okay, this 21 EMA, you got to get above it for me to be more bullish here on VeChain. And you got to get above it. That's the only thing I can say, because if you can't get above it, you're gonna get rejected one more time and then go down and make probably a lower low here on VeChain. Okay. So right now that 21 EMA is sitting at 0.0141 pennies. You got to get above that, and then maybe you can make your way up to this green line here at 0.0194 pennies. And then you got to see if you get above this last lower high here at 0.021 pennies here. Okay. I'm sorry. No, I take that back. I'm looking at the wrong number. This last lower high is sitting at 0.018 pennies. So yeah, if you get back up to like 0.018 or 0.019, you're starting to make a case that you're making higher highs here, and you're going to be contending against this 50-day moving average. But yeah, you got to get past this this bully. Okay, this 21 EMA is acting as a bully. Get past there, and then the next bully you got to get past is going to be that green line up to the top, that 50-day moving average. Okay, and that's where I would probably be taking profit. If I had some spot bags in this, I'd be looking to take profit at that green line there. Thank you, Lefty, for following me here on TikTok. Gun Turaf wants to look at ENA. And Cameron requests Sonic and Epic. Oh my god, here comes the request. Let's see. I'll probably do Sonic for now. I'll even write down Epic as well. And then somebody here is asking me what I think about XRP. We already looked at XRP. XRP, just for a quick summary, don't go lower than $1.98, because then you could head down to $1.50. If XRP continues pushing up to higher prices, 230 and 240 might be some problem areas for XRP to get past. But then once it gets past 240, then 285 was the target to the upside for XRP in the near future here. All right, we just looked at VeChain. We got to take a look at Solana, and then Sapien, and then Sonic. Just a bunch of S's here. All right. D2 Miami wants to look at Pango. Oh man, you guys gonna try and make this a 2-hour live stream, huh? I'll see if I can fit that one in. And Jay over here in the chat saying that Poet has just broke through the resistance while I was charting over here. That's awesome. Congratulations. Jay says Cardano is getting some good news. Want me to take a look at Cardano? Oh man. Guys keep me busy. Yeah, we're looking at VeChain because someone requested that, Gene. It needs to get past this 21 EMA, this white line. If not, you know, it could be another good short, and then you take it down to low prices here. Let's go ahead and look at Solana. See how Solana's doing. All right, here we go. We're looking at Solana, currently trading at $141.56. Solana is one of my biggest spot bags, so I would like to see Solana go up to higher prices. So I want to be bullish on Solana. I actually bought a little bit more Solana on Monday when everybody was panicking about prices going down to low prices here, and that's because I thought it was a good price to get in at Solana at $123. Okay, this is where I bought near the lows of the day on December 1st. And I put my stop loss at like $119, and that's why I game plan this out here where, with me buying Solana at $123 and the stop loss at $119, I'm only risking 3.58% on the long. And then, my target was, actually it was not this high. It was $143, which we already hit last night. So I already made money on Solana last night. I made about 15% on that trade. And it was just a regular spot trade, no leverage. So I'm happy with that. And the reason why I did that, because the risk reward ratio was at 4.4. Buying it at 123 bucks and taking it to 143. Risk reward ratio is 4.4. Now, had I stayed in the Solana trade and take it up to this 200-day moving average, right? That'd be about a 43% gain, and that's a 12-to-1 risk reward ratio. That would be nice if Solana could climb back up to the 200-day moving average at $177 here, okay? But I think Solana might have a tough time getting past this sideways trading action here. Back here in early November, there might be some people here that might want to sell their Solana just to break even. And that's about like roughly 160 bucks. So I think Solana could go up like another 20 bucks here. And that, had you bought Solana at $123 and had I stayed in Solana, then that would have been like a 29% gain, and the risk reward ratio would be about 8.2. Okay. What we got going on here for Solana, I did chart out on Solana that this could be a possible double bottom where Solana went down to like $121 on November 21st, and then $123 here on December 1st. So you got your double bottoms that you can see, and it's also kind of like a higher low as well, so that's good to see as well. And you just measure to get the measured move here. You just measure from where the bottoms are at to the top in between the two bottoms, and that's the measured move with a double bottom pattern. And you put that measured move on top of the top in between the two bottoms here, and it tells you that we could see Solana actually get up to like $166. So me selling my Solana last night at $143 might have been premature. I probably could have stayed in the trade. If we are going to continue being bullish here later on this month for Solana, yeah, we could see $160 Solana all over again, is what I'm expecting if we have this double bottom play out to the upside here. Okay. And also, I would expect that to be a problem area because the people that bought here in the beginning of November, they might have thought they were buying the bottom, only for then Solana to go down to lower prices. And if Solana gets back to where they bought it at, maybe they might have been day trading or swing trading it, and they might want to just get out at break even if they're in it for the short term. So I would expect $160 to be a problem for Solana initially, before it tries to go up to like higher prices than that. All right, moving on from Solana, let's take a look at Sapien, and then we'll look at Sonic. Oh wow, I can see why you want to look at Sapien. Sapien is up 54% today. Wow, wowee. How come you didn't tell me about this crypto yesterday? I could have probably bought yesterday and then benefit pretty well You know, if I had a 2x leverage long, I'd be up 100% on this thing. Just using 2x leverage. Well, anyways, you're now having me look at this after it already made the move up. Not sure what I can do with this. I can look at the moving averages, and I can see that we have a 50-day moving average sitting at about 17.5 cents. So I would expect Sapien probably to not go up any further today, unless Bitcoin is going to go up to higher prices and help push this thing further. I'm expecting that. I think the move has already been made on Sapien. All right. Let's look at the oscillators here. Okay. MACD, selling pressure was dying down, and maybe someone identified this, and that's why we got the green buying pressure candle showing up today. That's why prices are getting bid up. Also here on the MACD, you see the blue line cross the orange line to the upside, so you probably have justification for this thing to go to higher prices. Here on Market Cipher B, you got the green buy dot that showed up today. Obviously, on a day where you're up 54%, I would expect the green buy dot to show up on the daily time frame here. Money flow has been steadily increasing over the last couple of weeks, we'll say. And you might get a flip here into the green. So maybe Sapien is not done going up to higher prices here. If you see green showing up, that justifies you staying in on a long on Sapien here. So that's good to see. I think things are looking pretty good for Sapien. And now I gotta figure out what's take profit target, because if you're not taking profit here, or if you think this thing is gonna go to higher prices, how much higher could it go? Kind of want to pull up the VRVP, see what the VRVP has to say. So if you can make it past where you're at right now at like roughly 18 cents, the volume starts to drop off on the VRVP indicator, and you got a value area high sitting at about like 21.5 cents, or maybe around like 22 cents. That's where I would expect this thing to go next, and probably bump its head, maybe go sideways once it gets up to like 22 cents. But 22 cents is an area that people were buying and selling this asset at over the last few months here. So let me try to zoom out, see what else we got here for data. Oh, this thing, we don't have anything going further back than August here. But if I zoom out, now you can see that there is another high volume node here at like 25, 26 cents. So I would say 22 cents. And then anywhere between 22 cents and 26 cents is where I would try to start selling Sapien. Until it can prove that it can actually go to higher prices than that. And if it does, I mean it has done that back here in early November, where we saw this thing at like 56 cents. Wow. And 41 cents. Wow. But I'd be targeting 22, 26 cents if you're going to still stay long for a swing trade on Sapien. Alright. Gotta move on to Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog? Sonic the Crypto. Oh wow, what is this, Cameron? Cameron, what are we trying to do here? I'm looking at Sonic, and this thing has it's like going down a ski slope, right? Yay! Down further, yay! And now here we go to lower prices. This thing has been bearish all year long. Okay. Ever since it showed up here on Bitfinex exchange, this thing was at $1 in February, and now you're at 10 cents. So you had a 90% drop in price. Yikes. Let me get rid of the VRVP indicator for now. Okay, so this is a relatively brand new cryptocurrency, or at least it's brand new on Bitfinex. It started trading in February of early this year, but now you're starting to see some moving averages show up here. You get the 200 days, that red line, the 100 days, the blue line, 50 days, the green, and the 21 exponential moving average is the white line. At no point have you ever got up to that 200-day moving average or the 100-day. You kind of got up to the 50-day, but when you got to the 50-day, that was a good time to short, because it's been getting rejected since then. But right now, this 21 exponential moving average, this white line, has been acting as resistance almost all throughout the year. Okay. And right now that 21 EMA is right above you at 11.5 cents roughly. So if this thing does catch some bids here, I'd expect 11.5 cents to be a problem before this thing gets knocked down to lower prices again. You are near the lows for the year though. I'm not sure how much lower it can go, but the lows for the year looks like it came in on December 1st, a couple of days ago, at 0.091 pennies here, about roughly 9 pennies. And what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try to measure a Fibonacci to the downside here from here to here. Let's see if I can do that. So from here to here, it might give me a level to look for here. To the downside, you have a 1272 Fibonacci extension to the downside at roughly 6 pennies, or 0.057 pennies here. I believe that's where Sonic might go if it continues this downtrend here. Okay, you can expect this thing probably to lose 40 to 50% from where it is right now if it continues on the downtrend. Yikes. And I could probably use this 21 EMA as guidance as to when it might hit that level. If I just draw out the 21 EMA and it just continues doing what it's doing, we can figure out when it will hit that 6 cent level, right? Looks like sometime around the beginning of January, you could see this thing go down to like 6 cents if we continue doing what we're doing here, right? I'll do another trend line here, just connecting the lower lows here. So it might look like something like that, where this thing could get down to like 5.5 or 6 cents sometime in January. Okay. Could I make a bullish case for this thing? I don't know. You got to get above the 21 EMA, but if you get above the 21 EMA, we have seen the 50-day moving average act as resistance, and that's sitting at like 20 cents. So I don't know what you're trying to do here, Cameron, for a long or short, but looks like you're better off betting that this thing will continue going down. But I would wait until this gets up to the 21 EMA at 11.5 cents before I would try to short it. Longing it, you could long it and then just put your stop loss at like 9 cents. And you know, if you lose 9 cents, then you're probably going down to like 6 cents. Alright, let's see what we got. Somebody here, Gamer38. You said you just entered a short in GPS with a take profit at 0.006 pennies and a stop loss at 0.0068. Alright. Cameron says Sonic is great for short trades. Okay, that's why you're talking about Sonic. Yeah, because like this is what Sonic would look like if if it was bullish. If I just flip the chart up, you'd be like, oh my god, this thing is so bullish. It just keeps going up and to the right, up and to the right. But that's not the case, because this is what it really looks like. It's just a really great short. Had it been an opposite world, this would be a really good long, where you just like, oh yeah, you can just stay bullish. This thing is going to continue going up to higher prices. Put your stop loss like right below this last low here. But no, this thing is actually it's a continuing bear market, a continuing short. We can make money just shorting it. You could try longing it, but only after you broke down and you get too far away from the 21 EMA, you would expect like a bounce back up to the white line here. Alright, moving on from Sonic. I want to take a look at Pengu and Cardano, because those were some other requests here. Lefty's asking me about Bitcoin. Yeah, I saw it through the corner of my eye. Bitcoin's at 93K. 92,990. Bitcoin is just doing some bullish consolidation between 92 and 94K. We'll see if they actually break through 94K to get to like 96K is where I expect some more resistance for Bitcoin. All right. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at Pengu, Pudgy Penguins. Alright, so I have looked up Pudgy Penguins in the past here. Pudgy Penguins currently trading at almost 12 cents, 0.0117 pennies. Pudgy Penguin was like the talk of the town and a really good meme coin to be in towards like the beginning of the summer here. But since then, it topped out middle of July, end of July, making lower highs, obviously, and making lower lows to get to those lower highs here. You entered, in my opinion, a bear market for sure when you got up to the 200-day moving average and lost it here on October 27th. So I have to be bearish on Pudgy Penguins until it can prove otherwise that it's going to be bullish here. Once again, you know, just like this, like we saw with Sonic, the 21 EMA is going to be a problem for Pudgy Penguins here until it can get above it. And it looks like Pudgy Penguin tried to get above it yesterday. So Pudgy Penguin up 25% yesterday. That was good to see. Now, can we use this 21 EMA as support instead of resistance? I think that's what Pudgy Penguin is trying to do right now. Okay. And if Pudgy Penguin's able to get above this 21 EMA, like I already had previous analysis saying that it needs to like kind of like bounce up and down on the 21 EMA, but I really want to see this thing take off and go to higher prices like now rather than later, because you got a lot of room to the upside. Just trying to get back up to that 200-day moving average, sitting at like 0.022 pennies. That would be a double in price from where you are right now, right? If I measure that out from where we are right now to the 200-day moving average, about like a 92% gain. That'd be nice to see. Okay. However, you do have to get past this last lower high here on November 11th when we were at like 16, what, 0.016 pennies here. And I bet you if I pull the VRVP, it's probably going to say that that's going to be a problem here with the high volume node there. So yeah, there is some high volume here, a high volume node at like a penny and a half for Pudgy Penguins. That's basically the people that bought here. They might click the sell button because maybe they thought they were buying the low, or you know, the lows for the year, only for it to then go lower on them. So they might want to get out of that trade at a penny and a half. Then right here you got some volume here at 0.018 pennies, and then of course, you know, you got the value area high at like 2 pennies. It's also like a psychological number here. But yeah, as I start to zoom out, let's see what the VRVP indicator is showing here as I zoom out and get some more data here. Yeah, I think 2 pennies should be the most you can hope for on Pudgy Penguins, and if it does go to 2 pennies, that's a double in price from where you are. You do not have to leverage trade that. That's a pretty good swing trade in my opinion if Pudgy Penguins can get up to like 2 pennies here. Okay. And just game planning this out, right? I mean, you could. Let's get rid of the VRVP indicator here first. But let's say you are targeting 2 pennies here on Pudgy Penguins, right? Where would you put your stop loss? Probably below the lows from a couple of days ago, where this thing was as low as 0.0093 pennies. So you probably put your stop loss right at 0.0992, okay? Because if Pudgy Penguin goes lower than that, then it probably means it's still in the downtrend, right? But now you're trying to target that 200-day moving average, or like roughly, let's just target 2 pennies here. That's a 71% gain from where we are right now. Okay, you're risking 21% to try and get 71%. The risk reward ratio is 3.2. That's a decent trade to take. Okay, but if you can get up to that 200-day moving average, it becomes a little bit better of a risk-reward ratio where you're getting 93% while risking 21%, and your risk-reward ratio is 4.2. That's a decent trade to take for anybody, right? Because anybody, I think most people who are trying to get into crypto or stocks or whatever, they're willing to risk 21%, right? If you lose 20%, all right, you lost money, but you didn't lose all your money. Okay, you only lost 20% of it. However, to get 93%, and for that to happen probably in the next few weeks or later on this month or next month, that's not a bad trade to take for a swing trader. Okay, somebody that's going to be in and out in the next few weeks, next few months. That's not bad. That's not bad for Pudgy Penguins there. Gamer38 wants me to look at his trade with GPS. All right, we'll take a look at that real quick here. Go Plus, is that the name of it? Looks like I can find it here on Binance. And what were you doing? You were doing a short on GPS. So you're looking at the smaller time frames, and you're day trading it. Okay. Okay. So overall, this thing has been in a downtrend. So like the trend is that this thing is you can't be bearish because you're below all the moving averages except for this 21 EMA. You did get above the 21 EMA. Okay. If the 21 EMA was going to act as resistance, you are above it, so that's not too bad of an area for a short. And let me see, you got in at 0.00665. We're at 0.0067, and your stop loss is at 0.00686. So you're not too far off from getting stopped out on your short. Let's get into the 15-minute time frame. I'm on the 15-minute time frame, so I think putting a stop loss at the highs for today at 0.00697 is would have been a more conservative stop loss. Not financial advice, but it looks like your stop loss is like somewhere right around here, near the top of the candle bodies here on the 15-minute time frame here. Okay, and what I'm seeing here is this thing looks like it is respecting the 21 EMA on the 15-minute time frame, so you might get stopped out. You might get stopped out if this thing continues climbing up and respecting the 15-minute time frame. I haven't even looked at the oscillators here. Let's see what the oscillators are doing. I'm looking at this MACD. So there was selling pressure here, but now your selling pressure is dying off and you're getting a pink candle here. And then here on market cipher B, you got a green buy dot that showed up on the 15-minute time frame. You could see money flow start going back into it again, and you might get stopped out. You might get stopped out. But your take profit, where are you trying to take profit? You're trying to take profit at 0.0064 pennies here. That would put you like somewhere right over here. That's not too bad. Are you like targeting the fair value gap on this last 15-minute time frame candle here? Why did you choose 0.0064 as a take profit? I mean, it's kind of close to where this 15-minute time frame is. I mean, this 50 moving average on the 15-minute time frame. Let me see if there's anything on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, on the 1 hour, that would be where the 200 moving average is on the 1 hour. So that's probably why you picked that for a take profit. Let me pull the VRVP indicator here real quick. There's a lot of support at 0.0066, so you have to push through that before you get to your take profit there. I'm a little bit worried that you're probably gonna get stopped out on your short trade here. But you gotta take a risk, right? You gotta take a shot. See what if you're gonna get paid or not, right? But on the 1 hour time frame, I do see how market cypher B, like, it did top out, and you got that red sell dot. It just, you know, if you do get stopped out, you know, maybe you could try taking another shot at another short, and I would just look for like the highs for the day at like 0.0069 pennies. Okay. But yeah, 15-minute time frame. This is going to be a problem for you because this looks like it wants to make another higher low and go to higher prices here. And then what? 5-minute time frame. I mean, 5-minute time frame, you're still being bullish because the 21 EMA, you have not lost that 21 EMA on the 5-minute time frame here. So you're probably gonna get stopped out, and I would just probably try to look for another short near the highs, like the high of this candle wick here at 0.0069. If you want, if you're inclined to try and do another short on this, that'd be a better entry at this point. Jay, what are you saying here, Jay? You saying you've been holding Poet for a very long time, and you're planning on holding it until 2027, and then you'll be a very wealthy man, and you want me to remember you. Okay. All right. I will try to remember you. Don't forget to remember me as well. That we were analyzing it here back in 2025. All right. Lorraine says Bitcoin is away now. Is Bitcoin climbing? 93,280. That's what I see here on Bitcoin. Okay. So yeah, this is probably why it's going to be a little bit difficult to see a short play out on GPS, because Bitcoin is also pushing up to higher prices as well on the 5-minute time frame. Let's look at what do we got here? We gotta look at Cardano. We didn't go take a look at Cardano. I think Cardano's gonna be the last one I look at for today, and then I gotta do some things today, guys. All right, back to the live stream here. So I'm gonna look at Cardano, and then we'll finish off on Bitcoin. Excuse me. Do a lot of talking. Over here coughing up a lung. Cardano. I think I got Cardano saved as one of my watch list cryptos here, right? Yeah. All right. Let's get into the daily time frame here for Cardano. Cardano currently trading at 44 cents, up 2% today. Been a past brutal couple of months here for Cardano, huh? I mean, Cardano topped out here in August at like what, $1.01. But you've been making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and of course you've been making lower lows as well. And Cardano was kind of in like a falling wedge here, and a falling wedge, they usually break out to the upside. I mean, if it was a vicious and violent breakout, it would have been like a V-shaped recovery. But Cardano is kind of it's being a little bit weak sauce right now. Let me get rid of this thing here. But Cardano is just going sideways to get out of this falling wedge, which I guess it's okay, you know. It's not really what you want to see. You want to see a V-shaped recovery. You want to see yourself get up as fast as you went down. But this counts as breaking out to the upside, or at least sideways. It's better than breaking down to the downside, because that could have happened, but it was less likely. Like the probability of you breaking down to the downside on a falling wedge is is less likely, unless you really have nothing going for you. But it looks like Cardano does have something going for it right here. However, once again, this white line, this 21 EMA, could be a problem. Could be a problem right now. We got to get past it. You get past it, and I think we can start being more bullish here on Cardano. But, you know, I do have these moving averages for a reason, okay? All our professional traders and investors, they use these moving averages. It's part of like a 4 moving average or a 5 moving average strategy, where you got the 200, the 100, and the 50, and then of course you got the 21 EMA, and then some traders do like a 9 exponential moving average. I don't really feel like using that because I feel like that's just too many lines. I think the 21 is good enough, and you can see like the 21 has been good enough where after we lose the 21 EMA here on Cardano, we come back up to it again, this white line, we lose it, we come back up to it again, we lose it, come back up to it again. Are we gonna lose it again on Cardano? See, this is why, you know, some people are interested in taking shorts on these cryptocurrencies and assets, because we are at areas where you might get a rejection. There could be a rejection here for Cardano. However, if we really are going to be bullish, then the bulls need to prove that we are bullish on Cardano right now, okay? Because if we get rejected again, then, you know, just stick a fork in it. It's done. It's game over, okay? However, if the bulls really are going to prove to us that we're in a bull market and altcoin season is coming, then I want to see Cardano climb up and get past this last little high here in November 10th at like 60 cents. You do that, and you're going to get more people excited to buy Cardano. And then it will build upon itself, and you'll see, you know, maybe Cardano will get back up to the 200-day moving average here at 70 cents, right? But that could also be a problem area. So, you know, 68 cents, 70 cents, 72 cents, somewhere around that area is going to be a problem for Cardano to get past, because those are your moving averages. That's where a lot of traders are targeting to the upside here. But if you were to go up to that 70 cent area, it's about a 60% gain. And I think a lot of traders and investors would be happy to sell their Cardano 60% higher than where it is right now, right? So I would expect that to be a take profit target for Cardano in the future, okay? All right, and you can game plan this where, you know, we'll do a quick long position here. You know, how much of a stop loss would you use? You just put your stop loss right below the lows for on Monday here, where Cardano was at like 37 cents. You're risking about 15% to try and get to that 70%, right? Or 60%, I'm sorry. You're risking 15% to get 60%, and that's almost like a 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio. However, if you just can get back up to the highs here in November at like 60 cents, you're risking about 15% to try and get 37%. Not the best trade, but I do know some people would still take that. They would still try to take that trade, okay? I know some traders, they'll take a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. 2.48, a little bit better than 2-to-1, but not as good as 3-to-1. But yeah, I would, you know, maybe try to target the 200-day moving average. And now you got yourself like a 3.9, almost a 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio on Cardano. But there's no guarantee. Like I would, you know, if I was to get into Cardano, I had spot bags, I would try to sell some of it at 60 cents and then sell some more at 70 cents. Jay says he bought another $10,000 of Cardano this morning. Okay. So there you go. Jay is helping Cardano go up to higher prices here. Or at least he's preventing it from going down. Thank you, Lefty, for liking the live here. D2 Miami says you got in at 0.018 pennies here. And alright, yeah, guys, I'm going to have to end the live stream soon because I do have some things I need to do with the rental cars and some other stuff. So that's going to be it for today. Let me just look at Bitcoin here real quick. I know some people get excited seeing Bitcoin back at 93K. We're at 92,900. If Bitcoin continues being bullish, I would expect rejection at the 96K area, which is an area that Bitcoin was trading at sideways here back in May and also back here in February and January. So I'm expecting that to be a problem area where we could get some resistance at 96K. Okay. If Bitcoin starts pulling back, that would suck. But if it does pull back, we're hoping that maybe 87,400 would be where we create another higher low to justify us to then go to higher prices again one more time. Okay, but if we lose, you know, basically the low from Tuesday at like 86K, if we go lower than 86K, then it could be a problem where we could see Bitcoin go even lower than 86K. We'll probably see Bitcoin try to revisit 84K, see if that's going to hold. But if not, then we're talking about Bitcoin going to like in the 70s, all right, somewhere maybe in the high 70s, like 78K. All right, but these are the areas that I'm looking out for here on Bitcoin. I do like the fact that Bitcoin got above the 21 EMA. Let's continue doing that. Let's get another green candle. Let's get up to 96K if we're going to be bullish here on Bitcoin. Okay. But yep, that's going to be it for today, guys. Be on the lookout for my next live stream. I'll try to go live same time tomorrow, 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. Kind of started early today, only because I have to get out. But yeah, we did a fair amount of requests. You guys did keep me busy today, and I appreciate that. So yeah. Let's be on the lookout for the next live stream tomorrow, and we'll take a look to see what these assets are going to do. And good to see you, Alva Medina. I see that you showed up a little bit later, but that's fine. You can always watch the replay. And yeah, appreciate you hitting that like button if you haven't done so already. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. And Cookie, I gotta end the live stream, but you can come in tomorrow, and we'll take a look at Dogecoin tomorrow. Or you can come on the Meet Damien Discord, right? And you can put a request, and I can take a look at it on the Discord channel here. Okay. But yeah, that's it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care, guys.